Hey guys, quick public service announcement. These are pre-recorded episodes that we did in the past. That's right. Sometimes people record things and they hold on to them for a while to where it kind of works out. But at this time, we were going by a different podcast name. So you're going to hear us call the podcast something different as well as give different social medias. What you need to know is our social medias are listed in the description. It's
twitter.com/apilotpodcast, instagram.com/apilotpodcast, and follow us on all social medias.
That is totally not a pre-recorded soundbite. I swear Cody or whoever or CL Blue or whatever just said that. Anyway, if you guys need to skip ahead in the video, there are timestamps available. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
It's going. It's recording. Hello. Welcome to Test Pilot.
Hey.
Who's here with me?
I still had chocolate in my mouth, so I wasn't ready to talk
Oh.
yet.
I was like, are you a shy boy now?
No, it's
Hey.
even more. I love how it's just like on me to start saying something. Like you guys could have been like, wait a minute.
I started, bitch. I said, who's here with me?
Hi, welcome to the Test Pilot Podcast.
Hi.
I'm Franny.
I'm Cody/CL.
Let's call you. Let's call you. What? I don't know.
Just call me baby, okay?
What are your pronouns?
Just don't call me late.
Who are you?
Everybody knows who I am. That's why they're here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, big
Yeah.
head already.
I'm just kidding. I'm Logan. Hi. Nice to talk to you. Nice to meet you. Nice to speak at you.
We are Test Pilot. We review pilots of TV shows. We try not to spoil the show. What we're going to start doing is we're going to have down in the description timestamps for when we start spoiling the show. So you can skip that part if you haven't seen the show. Other than that, we review 2 pilots an episode and then tell you if the show's worth watching or not.
Also, if you're not listening on YouTube and you listen on Spotify or Apple or whatever, it'll be in the description where the timestamp is. You won't be able to click it, but you'll still know which spots you should skip.
Or just skip 30 seconds ahead and great, we're already spoiling it.
Yeah, that works too.
True.
But also, some people want to have something spoiled for them, and other people, maybe the other episode in the thing they don't want spoiled for them. I doubt anybody's going to care particularly about this show.
Yeah.
Or the next show.
Yeah.
Or the next show, or the next show.
They're here to just have us tell dick jokes, which we've never done.
It'll come. We have to let it come.
Hey!
Wow, and that wasn't even intended.
No.
Look at her. Wow.
That's what I'm here for.
No. No, stop.
Can we change your title? I don't want that to be your thing,
Yeah. Also, ew.
I'm exclusively here for the dick jokes. Anyways, we are reviewing That 70's Show and the lesser known sister show, That 80's Show.
Wow. Just wow,
Yeah. Well, should we start with the good or the bad? Which one should we start with?
So that's 70 show, that 80 shows that we're asking?
Should we go in sequential order?
I think so.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
That 70's Show first.
Do you want me to read the Wikipedia article?
Yeah, that's what this podcast is. Cody just reads us Wikipedia.
Set in the mood ring and polyester era of the 1970s, the program is a retro hip situational comedy about an eclectic group of friends on the verge of adulthood.
Are we an eclectic group of friends on the verge of adulthood?
We are full-blown adults.
I feel like when we became friends, we were an eclectic.
We were still full-grown adults.
Early adults.
How old were you when we... So 2016?
Yeah. Well, I was a new fresh adult. We were all fresh adults.
Yeah, baby adults.
Baby adults.
Didn't stop the tax man.
No.
No.
Really doesn't.
I feel like the show is really sentimental to me because I've rewatched it a million times. I used to, we were talking about how they just took it off Netflix. I used to
just now. So there's people out there who are like, oh, I'll watch it on Netflix to get ready for this episode.
Yeah.
You fucked.
It's really sad. You can get it on. What did we get it on? Amazon Prime for $1.99.
$1.99 for episode 1.
Yeah, I think it's like $30-something for the whole season.
And
I'm hoping to just get a box set from like Goodwill.
And like,
wow, you think very lowly of this show. I'm just kidding.
I'm just hoping.
well, where did you get all your copies
I
of Gilmore
Goodwill.
Girls though?
Yeah. Well, no, I got some of it at Goodwill and then some of it at the pawn shop.
I love Goodwill.
Love a Goodwill.
Yeah.
All about Goodwills.
They have such a good will. You know?
You can get a lot of shows,
You can get Goodwill Hunting there probably.
Yeah, you could get a lot of
You can
clothes.
hunt for Goodwill Hunting at Goodwill.
You can get a lot of clothes that we see in this episode for sure.
Well, I will definitely will hunt good. So
At Goodwill.
Yeah, that will be.
Have you ever seen that flick?
No, I have not.
I think you'd like it.
Okay.
Wrong
It's
podcast.
it's a really
I
good
don't
movie.
know.
It's a good movie, and it's not overly violent. So
I feel like that's a great foreshadow for the next episode.
Right?
they'll never know. Who even knows? We'll put it out in that order. Maybe we'll fuck it up and put out Pokemon after that, and that way
Ooh.
they just will be so confused.
What a violent show.
All right, so that 70's show. It's pretty much the starting career point for all of these actors, from what I can
Yeah.
tell. You got Mila Kunis, which is the namesake of our dog for some reason.
I love Mila Kunis. I named our dog after Mila Kunis. It's no secret.
Yeah,
She's a little chihuahua. She reminded me of.
the Russian actress.
Yes.
Anyway, and then you also have Topher Grace, which went on to do great things like, I don't know, fuck up Spider-Man 3. But no, actually, I kind of like Topher Grace. I think he was really good in Black Klansman. He's one of these guys who's really good with a character. And I think Eric Foreman is the character of, like, what a cuck. Like, not in a mean way, but, like, seriously, though, like, he's the guy who's there to be like, why do girls talk to you? Like he's supposed to be that character. And I think he pulls it off. Like not as a person, I'm not saying Topher Grace.
I was
gonna
say,
fucked.
do you think Topher Grace is like that in person?
No, Topher Grace.
Like, ooh, woo, love
gets,
me.
He gets fucked. He does. he and it's like always the strange. You know what I mean?
Good for him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, like he's into.
I
weird
feel
shit.
like
Yeah.
people probably want to give
Not as weird
him.
as Danny Masterson though.
Ow.
That guy is going to jail, right?
Is he already in jail?
I thought he might.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know his sentencing and all that stuff in the comments.
I feel like no matter what show we review, there's always someone who's like in jail for like child pornography or.
Well,
That's our niche.
Well, I mean, isn't that Mark Solon guy in forever jail?
Yeah. Well, he was sentenced and then he
Yeah, and he's like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because in jail they fuck up somebody like that, especially somebody with such like high renown and like people know who he is and shit. But anyway, and then you got what's the name of the actress, the one who plays Donna, Laura Prepon?
Yeah, I love Laura.
Man,
Prepon.
she is a stone cold fox.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really jarring seeing her next to Topher Grace.
Because she's the dominant one.
Yes.
And you're just like,
Well, because they
wow.
also they needed to. I think Topher Grace also works because they needed like a really really hot but still like kind of like
Girl next door,
like,
pretty.
Yeah, not like girl next door. She's more like a tomboy. They're trying to make her out to be, but
yeah,
like she's so hot they had to get somebody who was like so incredibly not next to her.
Yeah.
You know,
it works.
I love Topher Grace.
You really fall in love with them as a couple.
I love Laura Prepon more.
I get it.
That's just.
All right,
way
but let's
my
not
love
spoil
works.
things. Let's talk about the pilot first, and then we can talk about the show. So this pilot starts off with them coming up to the parents' party or whatever, and they're all drinking beers. Which, by the way, I love how these kids have access to like ridiculous amounts of marijuana, but they're like, man, I really could use a Bud
I
Light.
want a beer.
Yeah, like who gives a
Yeah.
fuck?
Make
If
sure
you-
it's cold.
Like, no offense to anybody out there, but if you like drinking more than like smoking as a child, as like a teenager, you're just doing it wrong. Drinking is like an old person sad game, you know?
Is it though? I
Like,
don't know. If
I
agree
don't.
with
I don't
that.
know if it is, but that might just be like suburban growing up.
Yeah, no, because that's what your parents were all doing. You guys all had glasses of wine while they were doing the dishes. You think they were happy?
That's me now.
I came from a
My
dry
point.
household, so it took a while to find out what any of that was.
Oh God.
I was like, what's that mysterious red liquid?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You can't remember dry, like how dry was like everything like super boring when in your house growing up? Is that what you're trying to say?
It still is.
Just walks in there like no dark colors in here.
I don't know. Your mama's pretty lit though.
I love Mama. Today I walked in and she had the bathroom door wide open and she was peeing and she was singing the gospel. And I think that's what we should all like thrive to be when
That
we
sounds
get
like an
older.
Ari Aster movie.
I want to be Mama when I grow up, like you said to me in the car.
Yeah,
Cody.
92, still growing up.
Wow. That's something.
We'll get there.
She's really something. When I picked Cody up today, I also had to wear a mask in the parking lot so I wouldn't scare Mama.
Wait, is that a thing that Mama said she had to do?
Oh, I mean, you have to wear a mask no matter what. It's
Yeah.
just the smart thing to do.
But like in private drivings, you need to wear a mask?
You're supposed to.
I didn't want to scare
No,
Mama.
you're not. Google that shit.
I didn't want to scare Mama. I didn't want her to think I was giving Cody the COVID.
If you're driving in your own car, no one says you should wear a
Well,
mask.
I think it's different if it's your own car. I don't know.
Well,
Something
yeah,
about
no, if you're getting in
AirPod-
an
something
Uber,
about- yeah.
obviously, but this is her car. So her pulling up in a mask in her car is just insinuating like she took a nasty old fart on the way over, trying to cloud herself from it.
Yep.
There was a suspicious odor.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, so they're at this party. His dad's talking about how he finally bought like a car from outside of the country, and he's like obviously very like, oh no, last time I had something Vietnamese or Korean, it was shooting at me or whatever.
God.
And
I love Red Foreman.
yeah, he's a great character.
Yeah.
He's a great character. All that's the other thing. This is the main point of a sitcom, especially like a multicam sitcom. You need to have likable characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the shitty ones have to make you laugh. Like even the ones that like you're not supposed to like a lot. Like Jackie's funny.
Yeah. 100%. And all the characters kind of like they did good character development on all the characters without having to.
We're doing development now, so that's let's
Okay.
Let's
Sorry.
real quick. Let's just say
Yeah.
what we liked about the pilot, and then we can get into the actual like where everybody went.
No, I was just talking about like the character development that we saw just in this, like how they set up each character. So they did a good job like setting up each character and telling us a little bit about each one. And it's a lot of characters in the show, so I mean that's a feat.
I mean, I guess I actually wouldn't give the pilot that. I felt like I didn't learn anything about Hyde. Nothing about Fez, other than like he's some sort of foreign and definitely is like not PG right now.
Yeah.
And then as for Jackie, I didn't really learn anything about her either, other than that she's like annoying.
I know. I was like,
That's
all you
not.
learn is she's a
I
narcissist.
actually kind of disagree. I don't think there's a
Really?
lot of.
I don't know. I feel like you got a good idea of their personalities from that.
Well, I wouldn't say. I see. Here's the thing too. I don't watch the show that much. I definitely have never like sat down and watched more than one episode like in a row.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
So that's why I think you're wrong, because
Yeah.
I just watched the show for the first time. I definitely don't know all these characters. My sister, on the other hand, will definitely be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but because she watches the show like crazy. But for me, I just felt like I didn't get anything from them character wise, except for the main two characters. I guess you could say the main four if you count the parents, but the Donna and Eric characters what I pulled a lot from. I didn't
Yeah.
really get much else. And there's
mean-
also this sister I don't see. He said his sister like 3 times. I don't see a sister, so I definitely didn't get that bitch. I don't know if she's actually in the show or not.
She is. I think she comes
They-
in a couple episodes.
Yeah,
later.
they actually recast her very, very
I mean,
abruptly.
Yeah, she's another sad story.
Like-
So
like-
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah.
like Vivian on Fresh Prince recasting like that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's not good. Man. You know they made one extra episode just so she'd have one more episode in the original Vivian?
Oh, really?
Isn't that shitty as fuck?
That's crazy.
They had the chance to make one large episode into 2 separate episodes, and so they did it just to make Vivian in one more episode, like the current one, whatever you want to call her, the new one.
I'm excited to review that.
That'd be fun.
We're gonna have to do that.
We should get something like really opposite. Like it's about like a kind of like homeboy going to like the really nice like Bel Air Ranch. We should have one about like a really rich person like slumming it.
There's definitely
so
got to be
Schitt's
something.
Creek.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
You know, my sister said we should review that too, so this
Yeah.
might be a sign.
I was like, I think I've watched one episode, so I don't know a whole lot about it.
Let
but-
us know in the comments if that's something you want.
Or we might do it before we even see your comments. What up?
Or we might not care what you think.
Or we might not ever get through what this pilot's actually about.
Or
Yeah.
we might overthink every single thing you guys say in the comments and never move past it.
Trust me, that's some easy shit to do. I've read some comments that have made me really just like, wow, people don't like me. But that's okay.
Anyways, do you want to continue taking us down the journey of...
Yeah, so the idea of the episode is Eric's finally getting the chance to drive, is it a station wagon? What was it?
A PT Cruiser, right?
Vista Cruiser.
Vista Cruiser. Finally
It's an
gets-
old station wagon.
Yeah, it's a station wagon, yeah. And he's finally getting the keys and whatnot, and they're going to go to, what concert? Sun Green.
Todd
Is it a real person?
I have no
I
idea.
have a feeling that's such a weird name that has to be a real person. But it doesn't matter. So they're going to this concert, and he directly disobeys Red, who's like, "Hey, don't fucking, you motherfucker, don't drive this car out of the city, because it's pretty fucking old and shitty. It's gonna break down on you." And so what happens, like, the moment they like drive like over the county line, the fucking car breaks down, of course. And then they have to, which, like, by the way, I'll say this about the episode: its conflicts are like not at all worrisome. I feel like nothing will matter if nothing happens.
It's just like a fun ride. It's not supposed to be high stakes.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like when you watch a Fresh Prince episode, I don't want to keep comparing it, but it's just what I've been watching lately. Or let's say
well,
like
it came out around the same time, probably. Did it?
This
No.
is way newer than Fresh Prince.
Oh,
Fresh Prince
yeah,
came out
true.
in the 90s. Fresh Prince isn't trying to be retro. It's just old as fuck.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But like, if you go to like another sitcom, like let's say like How I Met Your Mother or something, the turns, the things that cause like strife in the group,
that 70's show came out in 1998.
and Fresh Prince came out in 1990.
Wow.
Age. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. It's way older. Fresh Prince is way older. Anyway, it's a whole like 8 seasons older. So you get put it through that prism. What were we even talking about? That totally drew me off that. Oh, there's always like a crazy conflict that like you feel like nervous about.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, what the fuck? And this, I was just like, man, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't enough conflict for me. But basically they give up 2 tickets in order to get a new what was it, like a engine? Not an engine.
It was a new battery.
New battery. Which, by the way, if you can get a battery for $32,
I
That
know.
sounds
He
amazing.
was like, "It's expensive. It's $32." And we all looked at each other and we were like, "Ooh, like that's
Yeah.
cheap."
I
hell
fucking
yeah.
wish.
I would literally be like, well, let me check my pockets for coins. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow, stud muffin.
No, but seriously, $32 isn't shit.
Not anymore. No.
No, nothing. If you can't spend $32 on a dime, you don't get to go have fun anywhere. Now that's some facts.
Maybe that's why
Yeah.
I'm so depressed.
Oh.
But well, we'll just roll over that and not address that at all. Yeah. So then they end up trading the tickets, and the whole time Kelso is talking about breaking up with Jackie because like she's so fucking annoying. And then the moment they like start doing like sexual stuff in the back of this
Yep.
station wagon, he's like, "Well, I don't want to break up. I did this because I love you." And she's like, "Great, I love you too. Let's stay together forever." And then they take the car back home. Donna and Eric have their little moment,
Yeah.
and he goes like, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to sleep now because I guess he's like so upwardly horny he can't even fucking close his eyes."
I mean, wouldn't you be if, however you say her name, Donna,
Laura
just
Prepon.
Donna,
Laura
if she
Prepon?
kissed you,
Donna or Laura Prepon?
either
I feel like Donna, yes. Laura Prepon, no.
Donna.
I don't know.
Donovan.
She can cook in real life, and that always sets my heart on fire.
It's just something about the mysticism of being able to kiss somebody in a mood like that. It exists in another universe, you know. Then it would get me. Because I'm like, when else am I going to be in the That 70's Show universe? This is crazy.
Oh my
Are they
God.
fictional? Great. That turns me on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because then they can't see how fat I am.
Shut
They're fictional,
up.
so they'll never be able to see it. I'll never be able to disappoint them because they aren't real. Anyway,
Have you ever seen a mirror in That 70's Show? Maybe they're not real.
Anyway,
Speaking of the cast about That 70's Show, though,
well, I was just about. Let me just finish this
Okay.
up because then you can say
Gotcha.
anything you want about them. So, guys, based on you're okay. You want me to pause this podcast
No.
right now? The whole fucking point of the podcast is we tell them about the pilot.
I know.
We describe if it's any good or not, whether you should watch it based on the pilot. Then you can talk about Laura Prepon's fucking nipples or whatever the fuck you want to talk about. But holy shit, we just went over the pilot. Now, Cody, based on the pilot alone, if you've never seen the show, would you continue watching the show?
Yeah, I think it's cute, and I think it did its job well. It's a niche comedy set in a different time, and it's like totally set off nostalgia, and you know how everyone gets like a nostalgia boner. I think it does it really well. I do think I agree with Logan, sorry.
Wow.
I was gonna say I feel like you don't get that much from all the characters. You're just kind of like, okay, there's the horny one, there's the sad high one, there's the dumb one, and there's the annoying girl, and then there's the couple.
Yeah, and then there's like Ralph from Ed and Eddie, but it's Fez. He's just some nondescript race and nationality, and we have no idea what it is.
And I love that.
See,
so
like,
funny.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
Also,
it'd be problematic to come out now.
yeah. Yeah, also Wilmer Valderrama sucks. Like, he sucks as a person. I don't know about him as personally, but whenever he's in anything other than this, I think he really sucks hard. Hard balls.
I
Really?
can't say I've seen anything that he's in.
He was in a show called Yo Mama, in which he hosted people, generally comedians or people he found in the street, where they'd have a contest in which they insult each other's mamas back and forth.
What the fuck?
I would not watch that.
That's garbage.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
There's just like,
You know why he got the job?
silence.
Ashton
Why?
Kutcher did Punk'd, and that went well. So, like, let's grab all the 70s kids and give them shows.
Punk'd, on the other hand, I did
mean-
watch and I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, Punk'd is great.
I like Punk'd.
And I'm just gonna give my piece on the show, and then you can give your piece. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like yours is gonna be a lot different than what me and Cody
Yeah,
just said.
for sure.
So I think you pretty much head on with that. I think you kind of nailed it. But what's great about this show versus other nostalgia shows is that this show is in full nostalgia and is taking credit for a time that it didn't create, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's so much more like humble and held back than other nostalgia shows. Like, they weren't like, have you ever seen the Goldbergs? Oh my fucking God, I get it. It's the 80s leading to the 90s. Shut the fuck up. Like, the whole show was like, we're going to go see Batman directed by Tim Burton in movies today. It's 1989. Like, you know, like, it just feels like it's really over the fucking top, whereas this just feels like it happens to be the 70s and it's kind of quirky and things happen.
I get that.
because of
Yeah.
So I would say yes, but with one thing. I think if you're going in for like super substantive characters, you probably aren't going to get it, but that's just a guess.
That's not a bad guess.
Are you saying that there's no substantive characters?
No, it definitely takes a while for the character development. It's a slow burn.
I think you definitely have to be like, I agree, you have to stick for the ride and be like, I am going to watch you guys grow over time.
Yeah.
And you're not even really growing. Only one of you really changes. And then at the very end, one of you changes, but the rest of you are exactly the same. But it's still like,
Wait, we're doing it now, I think. We're getting close. We're getting close now, so go ahead.
yeah.
We cannot help ourselves.
I was gonna say it's just a coming of age story about a whole group of friends. Like, they have their own ups and downs and twists and turns, and I mean, there's a lot you can hold on to, and like a lot like you can attach yourself to in the show. It's just teens fumble fucking through life, and like Logan said, none of the stakes are ever really too high. I guess at times when they're a little older, they can get a little more high of stakes.
You're doing it again.
I'm being very vague.
Okay.
I'm being very vague.
I'm just saying we're one step away from like, and this is how the show ends.
No, I'm being very vague.
We are always like that.
I more just want to talk about like where they went from here. I think The Ranch is such a weird show that came from this.
Is it directly correlated? Okay, we'll get into it.
Yeah, like yet again we're doing it. So, Franny, would you watch it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I have watched the whole show. I love this show.
And here's what happens in it. All right, now we're gonna go into spoilers. Okay, tell me about the sister, because you guys had a really sad overtone with it. Is she dead?
So
I
in
don't
real
know too many
life,
details.
She's really dead?
So she
Ooh,
was
I
like,
made an oopsie. I was just joking.
no, she's like, I think she was addicted to some kind of hard drugs, and that was why they recasted her. And
Gotcha.
then she
Harsh.
passed away, unfortunately.
How much was she involved in the show?
At one time, she was at like every episode.
Yeah.
She's like the annoying sister that's like, well, Eric Foreman, I'm doing this today, and you're dumb, you stupid little brother.
But then when they
Yikes.
recast her, they make her the slutty sister.
I mean, I feel like she was always the slutty
Yeah.
sister. They just weren't as obvious about it.
No.
She sounds great.
Shut up.
Then
I think
she had a nice Farrah Fawcett haircut.
Yeah.
Awesome. And she died. That's really upsetting.
Yeah. I think the story of how Mila Kunis got on the show is pretty cool, though.
Oof.
Like, but it's kind of weird. We were talking about this, watching this episode, knowing that Mila Kunis is 14 in it, and they're all 18 because the casting call was for 18 and up. And
I'm also sure that there were people in the group who were older than 18.
Yeah, it was for 18
Topher
and
Grace
up,
could be 46. He looks exactly the same right now.
But she went and she just nailed it. They went with it.
Definitely brings a light on Hollywood, and it's like, that makes a lot of sense as why.
Well, I believe
girl.
she lied about her age.
She did.
Yeah, she said she was 18.
She said she would be 18 on her birthday was how she got away with it, but she didn't say which birthday.
That's fucking smart.
It's also fucked up.
Yeah,
because then you get all the principal photography done and all the stuff, and then like, oh, one day it's like, hey, we were looking for your birth certificate. We don't have it. Like, oh, here it is. Oh, you were born 3 days ago. I didn't know that. Like, that's so shitty.
You're a toddler walking
sex
around.
scene is very uncomfortable knowing that she's 14.
Also, might I add that like nobody has sex laying directly next to somebody without touching, which is exactly how it was shot. It was like they were laying next to each other as like Erica and Donna in the car. That's what it looked like. Jackie and Kelso were doing. That's not how you fuck people.
However, everyone wears a Boy Scout belt. Everyone. That's how it works.
It's more metaphoric with some boys.
Oh God.
Some boys can't get out of their Boy Scout belt. Poor guys. Anyway, I remember there's a element of the show. Doesn't Hyde meet his dad and his dad is black?
Yep.
Yes.
Have they ever explained that, or is that something I just have to accept?
I think you just have to accept it.
I don't
remember if they explain it.
I remember him being there, and he's like really like up to do, and he's like super like, oh, I own my own business, and Hyde's like, then why did you give me up? Like, why? But I don't remember because I don't know if I cared.
But I mean, that's not an impossibility, him being his biological father.
I mean, it's pretty close.
I mean, not really. Like that can happen.
Maybe he's just light skinned. Who knows?
Yeah.
Guys.
No, he was pretty dark
I don't know.
He had fucking blue eyes. Like, blue eyes, white skin. He was like an Aryan dream.
He was
I have
blue
a cousin
eyes, white dragon.
That's blue eyes,
He was
white.
a red eyes, black dragon.
I have a cousin that's blue eyes, white skin, like
Out of the cards.
blonde, and has a black father. So
I don't care about what you're saying. We gotta review Yu-Gi-Oh, dude. Oh my God, that's one of the best pilots ever.
Duel.
Think about that, Exodia and shit. Sorry, but that'd be great.
I feel like I would look great with a pyramid necklace.
What are you looking for?
I was just looking at my notes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Didn't mean to call you out. But no, like let's be reasonable though. That's clearly the joke of the show.
Yeah,
right?
it's definitely a joke.
Okay. So then why were you arguing that it could be true?
I mean, it can be true though biologically, but we won't get into that.
I'm gonna eat this microphone. I'm gonna fucking eat it. It's gonna be a part of what I ate earlier in my stomach. Okay.
I want to hear Franny's opinion on the character of Leo, who was not introduced in the pilot, but he's like the stoner that he owns the record shop, and he has like the stories of like
Tommy Chong, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not the owner of the record shop, is he?
I thought he was, or is he
I
the
thought
manager?
the dad was the owner of the record shop.
Mm-mm.
His black dad wasn't the owner of the record shop? Are we sure?
No.
I think, does he buy it or something like that?
Maybe, but
I don't
definitely not. His dad isn't a part of the show for a long time.
Yeah, he comes in like late.
It just stuck out in my
And
mind
Eric-
for obvious reasons.
And doesn't one of them like work at the record shop at some point? Or?
I mean,
Hyde
probably.
does. Hyde works
Hyde
at the record
does.
shop.
Yeah, so yeah, it's
I don't
definitely not
even
his
watch
dad.
the fucking show, and I got that.
Oh, oops. But
We're talking about a record shop after this. That's totally different.
Yeah.
A much different vibe
Very
to that
different.
record shop.
I like Tommy Chong's character. I think it's the nostalgia bait that we were talking about. And that's really the only character that kind of like throws nostalgia in your face.
He's like totally smoked out too. So he's just
Yeah.
kind of like he's the kind of guy who'd pour a bag of candy bars into the trash.
Like Logan did before.
But no, for seriously though, his whole thing is that he's like he's that character, the wacky character. He's the Kramer, you know. He's just so fucking insane.
Yeah,
There's
he's like a comic relief. Even though a lot of them are comic relief, he's He's just kind of like the wise shaman.
Everything he says is like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they'll
It's
say
fucking
something to
funny.
him, and then his response is always something like, "What about ice cream on Mars, man?" Like it's always like something wild like that. And I like that character. I did see an episode after Topher Grace got a career and he left.
Yeah.
Good for her, that boy. Didn't work out
that
too
made
well.
me
though.
upset.
Is that
when
guy
he left like that, though?
Seth
That's
Meyers' brother?
Yes, and it shows because neither of those two can act.
I like
No,
Seth Meyers, though.
I don't like Seth Meyers at all.
Really?
I think he is like he's the least funny guy to have his own talk show.
I haven't seen any of the talk show. This is just SNL days.
Oh, he was
from when
great on
was
SNL.
doing-
He's a good comedy writer,
Yeah, so-
and he's good at being the straight man. But let's say something about his brother. What is it? John Myers, Michael Myers? I don't care. Wow,
Ricky is the character Ricky
he's fucking terrible.
the worst character on
And
the show.
also, he shouldn't exist, and they shouldn't still be hanging out at Eric's house, and it's really not okay.
Yeah, the show goes to garbage when they write out such a character like that.
And
Like there's another good example that we're going to review at some point. Vampire Diaries, when they wrote out
when
they wrote out a main character, it goes to shit.
Man, we're not careful enough.
I said a main character. There are like 10 main characters in Vampire Diaries.
I feel like it felt super contrived because they were also like, we're going to put Donna with him so that he's accepted by the group.
Exactly.
As if it wouldn't be like if Eric came home, which
and Eric went to Africa.
he does
He
come home.
He
Yeah.
comes home at
How
the
does he
end.
not walk up to that guy and go, "Hey, why are you hanging out with my family and my ex-fiance or girlfriend or wife or whatever?"
Ex-fiance.
It is super weird that they're like,
They're all just
he's
so
not
fucking-
there, and then they just still hang
still
out
hanging
at
out
his
there.
house.
Like if I was Red, I'd be like, "I'm calling the fucking police. Get your fucking dirty hippie
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
feet
wait.
out of my house."
at that point, isn't like
Hyde living there?
yeah.
Don't care.
That's how
Okay.
they. Yeah,
Hyde
that's how
also
they.
shouldn't be having the ex-fiance of their son hang out with some fucking douchebag in their basement.
Can we talk about the like? Did they ever talk about it? There was such chemistry between Donna and Hyde.
They did talk about it, I think.
Did they?
Yeah, there's a brief moment.
At least I don't know. I'm kind of guessing, but I remember there was something about like him wanting to go out with her because Eric like fucked up or something. I don't know.
I just really like Jackie and Hyde.
Yeah,
That's my favorite one.
I think that was peak.
Yeah.
What do
he
you think
pushed her
about
out.
Jackie getting with Fez at the end?
I feel like I'm so mad that this show is off Netflix because I really feel like I'm at the time in my life where a good rewatch of this is required. But
We can buy the box set, darling.
I'm definitely gonna.
Let's go to Goodwill.
Let's hope for the best. But yeah, I feel like they make it make sense in the show, but it kind of I don't know.
I think it super
want
makes
it.
me dislike Jackie.
Yeah.
Because Fez gets his like life together and he's successful and he's
Yeah.
like quote unquote respectable as a human being, and she's like all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I have to have Fez now.
Yeah.
She's going for his Yo Mama royalties and shit.
Exactly.
It's kind of icky. I feel like they definitely should have ended her with Hyde for sure. If not
or
Kelso.
you know.
If not Kelso,
Well,
they
Kelso-
should have.
Also, we should
Kelso left too.
we should double check
Yeah, he did.
that we're correct. By the way, can I just throw that out there?
What?
What if I'm totally wrong? Because
No,
I'm the
she
one
ends
who.
up. She ends up with him. I remember that.
Because
she
now I'm
ends up
starting to
with
think
Fez.
she ends up with
It's
Kelso.
She
It's
ends
a
up with
big
Fez.
it's a big point in the last season. I don't know if they end up together, but it's definitely like the story of the season is how they're like getting together. And how he's had like a crush on her the whole time, and she's been like, "I'm too good for you." And then the moment that he stops liking her, she's like, "I need to have you because you're unavailable."
Who does Jackie end up
Who
with
acts
in
like
that
that for
70s
you?
show? Jackie, towards the end of the series, Jackie and Hyde's relationship fell apart, and he ended up marrying a stripper from Las Vegas. During that 70s show, season 8, Kelso constantly proposed to Jackie, and she like turned him down. And then
Okay.
it doesn't say who she ends up with, but I think we're right.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, I think moral of the story is Jackie's a horrible person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I love Mila Kunis.
Yeah, it's Fez. It's Fez. She ends up with Fez.
And then like Eric comes back at the end
God damn it. All the way from Africa.
Ends with Donna, right?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know. I really don't know.
I love how Hyde marries a stripper. I forgot about that one.
What's your guys' off the cuff? What's your guys' favorite episode of that 70's show? Because I feel like you guys probably have a favorite episode. I don't really, because I didn't watch it that much.
I have a couple.
I don't think I could name a single because
they're
all very situational. They're all like.
I could name things that happened.
Oh, I actually do remember one, but go ahead.
They vandalized a muffler shop one time to say like something muff. I remember that, and I liked that episode.
Didn't one of them fall off the water tower or something?
I was about to say the water tower.
That is like the most significant, right?
And then they go back, and another character falls off the water tower.
Falls off, right?
Does he fall off multiple times? I think he falls off multiple times.
He falls off twice or something like that.
I remember the episode because my dad like really laughed because he said he had somebody who also did this. They went to a Packers game, and fucking Eric went and bought a Bears jersey like a dumbass.
That sounds about right.
Sat on the Packers side, and everybody was like, "Fuck you."
God damn it. I really like the graduation day episode too, where they're all sitting around writing in their yearbooks. That's a good episode. Very nostalgia bait.
I don't okay, it feels like a second life. Like I remember all of this, but I don't remember any of it.
I know, so long ago. This show aired for 8 seasons. It aired from 1998 to 2006.
Wow.
And I would know because I'm everybody was talking about I went to camp, like a day camp. We don't want to get into the details of what this day camp was, trust me. But went to this day camp, and I came back and my whole family I was like, "Hey guys," like thinking like, "I'm home, y'all about to shit your pants. I've been gone for a whole day. Like I was gone yesterday at this time and I'm back today at this time." And they were all just watching that 70's show finale. And they told me to be quiet. So we sat there and watched it. And I remember thinking, this sucks. I didn't like the finale. I know that. It felt like they were just trying to shoehorn everything in.
Yeah.
And also, I think they skipped a year in the 70's. They like skipped a whole year or some shit.
Because isn't the end the countdown to the 80's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this now.
I feel like
they actually got everybody back too, which was except for apparently the sister who died. I don't know.
I feel like that 80's show should have just been following them into the 80's. That would have been better.
I mean, yeah, but no one wanted to do that show after.
I know.
No one really. I don't remember. I think it dropped off also because I mean they hadn't actually done it for 10 years for real. They had done 8 seasons. I think the show dropped off in ratings too. Yeah. You know, like I think the show ended out of necessity. I think they think they had a last season. They're like, you know what? We'll give you guys a last season to wrap shit up, but this shit's over. I'm sure that's what it was.
Gotcha.
So I doubt anybody would have watched that 80's show because, for one, that 80's show came out during that 70's show.
Yeah.
As an off-season option. We know we're getting it too far ahead. Okay.
I do want to say before we move on, the star of the show is Deborah Rupp, who plays the mom Kitty.
Oh, she's the best.
She's the
best.
My favorite show.
Both the parents are so fucking funny.
Yes.
But Kitty's like the kind of funny where like she's kind of catty but like secretive about it. Like she says some real fucked up shit while secretly being a housewife. You know what I mean?
You see, we're gonna get into who we think we are, and I think I'm Kitty.
I think
that's a choice.
I think Cody's Kitty.
Yeah, true.
Is that why I like her so much?
Yeah,
maybe.
Because,
it's me.
Because you'll literally say something like so like I would like Hallmarkish, like, oh, you guys are sweeter than speckled pup, and then right after you're just like, and you're fucking
true.
You're literally
Good
that
point.
person 1,000%.
Good point.
You're catty as Kitty. Franny, you're definitely Jackie. There's no question.
No, I'm not Jackie.
Yeah, you are, and I'm Hyde. It's true.
Yeah, true.
That's our relation. That's been our dynamic for a long time.
Yeah.
You can't deny it now. It's already happened.
Yeah, true. Very true.
I mean, you can deny it if you want. Now I kind of want to hear what you thought you were, other than Kitty.
No, I agree.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Doesn't she seem like she's secretly mad? Like, how could you
no,
call me
I'm
Kitty?
not mad. I agree. I said I agree.
Okay, good.
It's a fair point.
Who would you say is the worst character on that show?
Ooh, I don't know if there is one. I love them all. I've got such hard eyes for this show. Like
I really hate I really hate Donna's dad.
Donna's dad is great. He's got Ken Tanaka energy.
I just feel like he's kind of a slime ball.
Yeah, he is, and he's great, and he's loving and sweet. I think the character that annoys me the most is Midge, his wife.
Midge's wife?
Uh-huh.
Is Midge even in it that much?
She's in it enough to be annoying.
Don't they get a divorce and he like marries a hotter chick?
I think so. I don't know. It feels like another lifetime.
I see
like
that happen in real life so often. Like
I
some
know.
ugly chud has a hot girlfriend, they break up like finally, and then like starts dating Selena Gomez or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that to happen.
It's
to
Pete
me.
Davidson. That's who. That's Pete Davidson's that guy.
100%. No offense, Pete Davidson.
I mean,
but,
major offense to Pete Davidson. I don't give a
but
fuck.
Ariana
Pete.
Grande is like way better looking than you.
And his current girlfriend's way better looking as well.
I don't. Who is his? Is it?
She's an actress. I can't remember her name
Well,
right
he
now.
was dating someone.
Isn't
who
she
was
older,
like
too?
Super. She was older.
She wasn't super old.
I know. That's why
She's a
I took back,
grandma.
I
So
took back the super.
So,
She's older,
so
more
you're dating Meryl
experienced.
Streep and shit.
She's more renaissanced.
Dating
I like
Barbara.
that. More Renaissance.
All right, guys. I think you got the idea.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break and then talk about that 80s show.
Hell yeah. Let me pause this. Oh no, hold on. I didn't.
Logan too.
Let's count to 7.
That wasn't a pregnant. We started. That wasn't a pregnant pause. But we're here. Hello.
Wait, so we're just gonna not?
Yeah,
All right.
what part did
recording.
you get? Did you get me whispering?
Well, that's a way to
selectively
turn a
Logan?
perfectly nice girl into a lady golfer.
Into a what?
That 80s show.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh God.
Welcome
Can we
to
just
part 2.
forget about? Can we just end the podcast and not even talk about the show? Can we just label it as trash and then go on? I feel like that's good enough.
You know, I don't want to. I want to tell everyone to avoid this show at all costs. So,
Yeah, I
You
feel like
won't-
this is a cautionary.
a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if you don't want to avoid it, you can watch the whole only episode. I guess the whole series you could call it on YouTube for free.
How many episodes were in the first series?
13.
13 too many.
Because that's a mid-season. That's mid-season break.
Okay.
Then they did
26
not get
episodes per season.
renewed.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't just not get renewed. They were pulled aggressively, and the last 6 episodes are uploaded on YouTube and never aired on television.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not
Wow.
kidding you. Apparently, something happened in the middle there.
I wonder what. We should have looked that up before we started this.
You could Google it. You can magoogs. But I do know the so anyway, so that 80s show clearly trying to capitalize on the popularity of that 70s show, but it had one fatal mistake. Actually, 2. One is that it over-relied on nostalgia,
Yeah.
being that they literally played fucking Dynasty in the opening episode. They watched Dynasty and made a drinking game out of it. That's some shit from the 80s, okay? If Dynasty was mentioned in a Prince song and it was more flavorful than this, that's a problem. It's much more tasteful, much more flavorful, as they would say in the 80s.
There was no Guy Fieri in this episode.
no Flavortown, baby. They do not live in Flavortown.
It's just Gordon Ramsay screaming. That's the whole episode.
But it's about a young man who is definitely out of college. He got a philosophy degree.
Yeah, they're supposed to be 20s.
Yeah, and he is the more handsome version of Eric Foreman.
Corey, right?
Corey, I believe
Corey.
is the character's name. And he works at a record store and doesn't want to be a phony, sold-out loser like everybody was worried about in the 80s. Who's a poser, who's not. He lives with his sister, younger sister, I believe, who dropped out of college.
Katie.
Katie. Wow, you got the names down, dude. Look
Sometimes.
at you. Wow, look at that. I definitely wouldn't have remembered that. Another character is his friend, who apparently is just Hyde, Kelso, and Fez all mixed into one.
Henry Cho from Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
Right? Oh, is that the same actor?
So yeah, he's the same actor who dated Lane. And then I think he left Gilmore Girls to go do that 80s show.
Oh, God.
And then Katie, the sister, plays Logan's sister. I don't remember her name. But she's like the cool sister, even though
Yeah.
I'm rich.
I remember that.
And the
Oh
main
my God.
character
Crossover.
plays one of the guys on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay, so the idea is that he works at this record store, blah, blah, blah. He has this girlfriend who, it's insane because she's a bisexual. And apparently that is a huge point of contention. And apparently if you're bisexual, you're a creepy, predator, rapey type individual.
However, that character is indeed, I think her name's Sophia, is indeed predatory and creepy. I mean, that's
In
true.
real life or just in the show?
In the show.
In the show, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they
no,
portray
100%
bisexuals like
predatory
this is how
gay.
they act.
Yeah.
So basically, that girlfriend breaks up with him and then tries to hook up with his sister. And his sister, I feel like right now in the pilot episode doesn't have vibes for it, but I feel like along the show she's gonna be with that girl. Like I feel like this sister's gonna hook up with that girl. I really do. I feel like that's what the show is preparing us for.
I don't want that.
No, me neither. But I think that's what the show is preparing us for.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, they definitely like teed it up a bit.
I think it also doesn't help that Sophia, her actress, is terrible, and it's not even like believable that she has any romantic feelings for this girl. It's like maybe if you would like.
Yeah, I think and also there's some really bad acting overall in the show.
Yeah, none of the acting is great.
Well, I'll get there.
Okay.
But I think the dad isn't terrible. The dad's pulling off the Red Form in the 80s vibe, and he's a talented actor. He's been in a lot of things. But the other issue, or not issue, but the other thing with the show is this poser-esque girl that works at the record shop. Tuesday is easily the worst character I've ever seen.
She later goes on to play Supergirl's sister on the CW.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She plays the sister who has, I think she's in a relationship with one of the detectives. I mean.
Thank you for calling Movie Phone.
Yeah. You're welcome.
This dude's on it. I had no idea.
I only remember because I was like, underneath that eyeliner, she looks like she could be on the CW. And guess what? I was right.
Hey, look at you. You're on it today.
Supergirl didn't start on the CW, though, which is wild.
It didn't?
No, it started on CBS, got canceled, got moved to the CW.
I had no idea.
Or ABC, one of those networks.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But, yeah, because it didn't do very well because it's not really a great show. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I know you both love it. That's why I didn't want to totally trash it.
It's okay.
Franny,
hey guys,
Franny fucking loves it.
Write in the comments if we should do Supergirl and what you think it should be paired with.
Yeah, we'll do it Supergirl and then a good show. We'll do that way.
Oh my God.
Bad and good.
What's a good DC show that you could do? Okay,
Swamp Thing was a great one. You could do. There's plenty. Doom Patrol.
I haven't seen Doom Patrol.
Ooh, it's good.
Okay.
It's a good one. Let's go. And then technically Watchmen's DC, so there's Watchmen as well. Man.
I also haven't seen Watchmen. I remember like the build up for it was huge, especially like in the comic world.
You literally, dude, like not to go on too much of a tangent, but you can't watch the show without reading the comic. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So you have to read the comic and then watch the show. It makes you do homework. I like sometimes when that happens, but when it's a show standalone and then you got to do homework from a book that was written 20 years ago, that's a bit tough.
Yeah.
That's not my vibe.
I feel like it should add on. It shouldn't be like required.
Yeah, exactly. You should be rewarded, but not forced to. That's the issue with those DC shows. After a while, they all get so blended together, you have to know what the fuck's going on. But with this, you don't need to know anything that's going on, and we can't really give spoilers because this show didn't really go anywhere. I want to go over the character archetypes before we completely spoil it, though. Okay. So the mother, not the mother, but is a mother character. The lady in the record shop is like the surrogate mother, and she's awful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate looking at her.
I hate her jokes.
Hearing her talk. I feel like she reminds me in a bad way of somebody we worked with at Gap in the back.
You're gonna have to tell us off.
I know. I was like, I need more than that.
Let me see. I don't want to get too stockroom coordinator, but not the fun one.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
tell me I'm wrong.
Ew. Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Good point.
Down to the haircut. Anyway.
I'd forgotten she existed. Anyway.
Yeah. So there's that. The father, apparently they only have this one styled office in their whole office building because they reused the same office for all the scenes.
Yep.
That was tough. Pretty much everything about this episode and what I imagine about the show is that they're relying completely on you giving a fuck about the 80s.
Yeah.
They literally talk about like music from the 80s, which I love the musical jokes, but they are really like, they're so significant. Like if you don't know music, you're like, I don't fucking understand that Black Flag joke at all.
I really enjoyed during the transitions, though, they always had a record and it was like later at blah, blah, blah. I thought that was cool. And I think that's just because that 70's show did it really well. They always had really great transitions.
The opening credits were tough. Just like rolling through like the record rack, though. It made the people feel not very permanent.
Yep.
And also, the other thing about these characters is that there's nothing really significantly fun about any of them. Like with the characters in that 70s show, they were fun. They were fun characters to watch. There's not, I mean, I guess like if you're really into music, you might appreciate the record store scenes. But other than that, like, you don't appreciate these people being around. And also, they are incredibly homophobic in this show. Like, even worse than that 70s show was.
Yep. I will say, I think what they really got wrong is that you don't care about the characters. Literally, you don't care.
Yeah.
No.
Eric Foreman, who's the main character, he's insufferable, but at least he's likable.
Yeah, and
He's
also
got like that adorkable quality that Corey's like, I'm just insufferable and I hate the world.
What it boils down to is that show was really great at adversarial ideas. So the kids were always against Kitty and Red and what they were trying to accomplish, and that made the show kind of fun and interesting. And it made you kind of side with them because there's a youthful rebellion in all of us. Even in the annoying characters, you felt that. The issue... Okay, hold on. The issue is this show didn't have anybody to be adversaries except for the two main characters that are clearly going to be romantic interests.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't buy it.
No.
You didn't buy them being a romantic interest at all.
Not at all.
There's no way she'd fuck him.
There was more chemistry between Tuesday and the dad
Yeah.
than the son.
You know how I know she wouldn't fuck him? Because I'm him, and no girl that was like that would have ever fucked me.
I didn't like how they wrote her character to the second he like commented on her hair. She like took down her hair and like came back. So she had like this like weird mohawk situation going on.
Well, he called her a poser, and he was right.
Yeah, and then like he calls her a poser, makes fun of her hair, and then the next day she comes to work and like she has her hair down and looks completely different. It's like what?
And he's so mentally hapless that he can't tell that that's not the same person.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a walking baby. His diaper's hidden beneath his pleats and shit, and he doesn't understand that that's the same human being.
It's such weak character writing, too.
They also treat her mohawk like it's Batman's cowl. Like, I recognize that bitch instantly. He's like, who are you?
They also
I'm
treat
like,
her...
that's the lady you were just yelling at.
They also treat her like a fucking moron. Like, just because this one dude didn't like her hair, now she's changed her entire thing.
Well, I don't know if that's what they were saying. I think they were saying, like, you look like a poser with that big-ass hair. I think they were right.
I just didn't like it. It was icky. It felt very shoehorned
It was
together.
definitely we had to make her, like, sexually accessible.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that her hair's down for second episode, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have it down or else we can't market this show. Like, really.
Also, like, it looked weird in bed.
Ooh.
You don't know.
No, I do know, actually. This I can guarantee you. If your hair goes over, like, the ceiling line, if your hair touches the ceiling fan, we probably knew each other, and you look weird whenever you were laying down anywhere. It's not like that. I didn't mean it like that. There was this dude, Michael. Michael, shout out to you, buddy. On the last day of 8th grade, he had really long hair like I used to, and he spiked it all up into one spike, and it looked fucked up when he did anything.
I bet.
He had to duck down to get into school.
Oh, God.
It was awesome. Shout out to you, buddy.
We had a dude who literally did the spikes exactly the way that
Liberty
Tuesday
spikes,
did,
yeah.
and
oh, God.
he did it with glue,
It got to be glued, yeah.
and they had to shave it off because they couldn't get
Wait,
it out.
actual glue, not got to be
Actual
glued?
glue.
Oh, what? For real? Like real glue? Is he dummy?
I mean, I don't want to call him out, but
Wow.
I mean,
That's
you
really
kind of already
something.
did.
I know. I mean, what are the chances?
Dude, wait till you're a big old star and he's like, hey, heard you didn't like my hair. Like, or whatever the fuck.
I love it.
It's weird because you think of hair. This is how clearly, like, rolling off of a adjusted state I am. When you said the thing about hair and glue, I thought of horses, and then I thought of horsehair, and then I realized that's not a normal train of thought.
Wasn't glue made from horses?
Yes, that's why I thought
That's
it.
what we call
You were close.
ADHD.
You were close.
I love you.
I think you definitely offended a lot of people. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm the poster child, though. It's
Yeah,
true.
for sure.
It's true.
I didn't understand any of the characters' motivations at any point.
Well, we knew that Sophie was her name.
Sophia.
Sophie.
She wanted to get
Sophia.
fucked. We knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess by the sister, even though it's odd. There's no chemistry, like Cody
okay.
said.
I was a little worried that you were like going to go on a
No.
whole thing like the Lord.
No, fuck that. I'm just saying there was no chemistry there. They didn't write characters to have chemistry with each other. And that's something that 70's show actually did. Like, you buy Kelso and Jackie, even though like they're a shitty couple, you buy them. Like, that's real. And then you totally buy like Eric Foreman and Donna, but you don't buy Tuesday and fucking Corey.
Not at all.
And then Sophia and his sister.
You really don't buy that because the idea the show's trying to pass off then is that like she was pressured into being gay. Like, that's not a great message.
Yeah, I really don't like in that 70's show when we were watching it, they made like a reference to the gays, but like in a positive way. They're like, oh,
positive-ish.
They're like, oh, those two are together. Like, they're talking about two guys and they're like, oh, those two are together. And I'm okay with it. They're like, me too.
And then
too.
Eric like gets hard. He's like, I love that
you're okay with it.
Maybe I can, maybe you, me, and Kelso.
But like, that was like
probably more you, me, and Jackie.
At least they said okay with it, you know? Like, they're acting like gay is not okay in the 80's show. Like, they're
I mean,
really
he literally
on
at
it.
one point goes, you turned that nice girl into a pro lady golfer.
Yeah, that's
which
icky.
is yucky.
Was this show the same creators and the same writing team?
Some of it, yeah. Not
Because
entirely, but the same creators for sure.
It's crazy. It's crazy how drastic of a difference it is. Just going from like pretty good writing to like, wow, I wish I had a blowtorch.
You know what it is, and I think that this is usually pretty true. There's a couple exceptions, but this is usually pretty true. If there's a show that's made because they think the concept's great, and then later they manufacture a show based on the success of that concept, 99% of the time they're missing the part that made it good, which was the inspiration in the first place.
Yeah.
They were inspired to make a sitcom about the 70's, so they made a great sitcom about the 70's. But when they made that 80's show, they weren't inspired to make that 80's show about the 80's. They were inspired to make that 80's show into a success.
Right.
Good point. That's very well put.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of artistic, like, things that they did with that 70's show.
Clearly, it was made by somebody who adores the
Yeah.
70's.
Like that moment when Eric is high and he's talking to his parents and, like, the background starts
So
like
accurate.
tilting and everything. It's like fun and accurate and relatable and shit, and like artistic and cool.
Yeah, that's the thing about that 70's show is there's a lot of choices made
Yeah.
that are fun and interesting
Like-
that aren't standard sitcom. This was like so by the books.
They
Yeah.
gave a fuck in that 70's show, and they entirely let all their fucks go away.
There's a moment in the show where there's an Asian man with a briefcase and a Caucasian man in a car, and they start singing "If the Days Go By." Da, 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 da. They start singing a pivotal
hate
song of
it.
the 80's. Come on. Come on. How are we fucking stupid? What are you doing?
You can definitely tell that 70's show was a passion project. It
Yeah.
was something that they strived to make because they wanted to make it.
And they
that-
cast it well.
And they did. And that 80's show, I think its main problem is that it hemorrhages interpersonal relationships. None of it is believable in the fact that, okay, at the end of the day, if you sat them together and they were going to be a group of friends, I don't see Tuesday being friends with any of them. I don't see like the sister being friends with any of them.
I don't see the dad being so accepting of them.
Also same.
So here's the thing with the dad. He's a professional businessman who offers his kid a job. The kid fucks up that job. Like, he fucks it up. And then he just goes, well, you're fired anyway. Love you. See you at home. Like, that doesn't happen.
No.
No, that's
But
why.
if Red ever did anything like that with Eric, he fucking berated his ass. He said, literally, my foot's going to meet your ass. Like, he always would say shit like that. My foot in your ass, you know?
Yeah.
And this dad, he didn't have to be an angry person, but he just was blank. He was like horny to fuck his daughter's friend. Like, that was his personality. And he wore a blazer and it looked like he was on Miami Vice.
Yeah.
That's his personality in the show.
Definitely. Real nepotism would have been like, you're staying. I don't care. This is a main plot point, and I think that would have been way more
Way
interesting.
better. Because now what the fuck? What makes me want to jump? What story? What underlining story is bringing me back?
Nothing.
Because the thing with that 70's show is you had the Donna and Eric relationship, the Jack and Kelso relationship, and also you started to see like the interest of like, okay, we've known each other since we were kids. Let's see how our parents or family responds to us being together. That's in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
In that 80's show, you're thinking, is that girlfriend of his gonna fuck his sister? And that's all. That's all. I mean, that's literally all that's bringing you back. They're not even. They don't even have to worry about their job. They just leave, and the lady's like, "Why do I have to stay?" It's a good point, lady. Fire those fucking kids.
Yeah, like there's no stakes.
Let me finish. And you know that a show is bad based on. Okay, there's no perfect show. Like, there are so many issues with That 70's Show, and there's so many issues with Fresh Prince, and like logical issues. You know, the mother literally changes up at one point, or the sister gets recast. There's glaring issues in every sitcom. But the thing is, if a sitcom isn't doing a good enough job to entertain you, you have time to think about how bad it is. Right. The issue with That 80's Show is you're constantly faced with how bad it is because there's nothing fun or entertaining you.
Agreed. 100% agree. It's just there's nothing there when you leave. It's like, it's really weird because sitcoms are made to be like, oh, just your cares go away. You're just sitting in front of the TV for 30 minutes and you're not thinking about the real world. But then if it's just so bad that it doesn't immerse you, what is the point? Why are you making it besides a money grab? There's no reason.
Not only that, but you know, you're sitting there, you're supposed to be escaping stresses. And you do, even if it show's bad, you do. But at the same time, you're confronted with, well, like, why do these people get to make pretend for a living? You know, like, there's almost like a jealousy. Like, this show's so bad, and they're getting paid, and I'm fucking watching it. Like, there's so much art out there that doesn't get made. Why the fuck does That 80's Show get made? But a show like The Draft or what's another great show that got canceled so soon? Kyle XY. Like, there's entertaining shows out there that didn't get like a fair rub or like got cut before they were even made. You know, The Comeback on HBO talks about like failed pilots and stuff and how some of them were really great, but they just didn't get their chance. Why does That 80's Show get 13 episodes to try to prove it to me?
Nepotism. I don't know. But yeah.
Corporate America.
It was just trying to ride off the coattails. Maybe they were hoping it got better.
Yeah.
And, you know, every sitcom does have... The first couple episodes are always rough, but like they're not this rough.
No,
not at all.
This is like, guys... Oh, by the way, my reviews, don't fucking watch it.
Yeah, don't.
But it is free, so if you're really like that curious and you're like down to lose 22 minutes, it's on YouTube.
It's not even worth the 22 minutes. Find something better to do with your 22 minutes.
There's a couple of jokes about how Dynasty bitches beat each other up. Well, guess what? You can just watch Dynasty and it's far more entertaining.
That's the only good part. They're doing shots every time somebody gets like slapped on Dynasty. That's the only good part of the whole
As
episode.
Prince once said, if you don't have to watch Dynasty to have an attitude.
Gwyneth Paltrow also said it on Glee.
Did she? I don't know.
Yeah, she sang that on Glee.
No, she sang it then because if Prince wrote it, that's him saying it.
Okay,
but her singing it isn't her saying it.
Whatever.
It's her singing it.
I was gonna say, did they sing it and then she said it?
Yeah, she's like, by the way, I really relate to that. Like, you don't have to watch Dynasty to have an attitude. We should review Dynasty.
We should do Dynasty.
Oh my gosh, we do Dynasty and then Duck Dynasty.
I'm out.
What, you want to watch a bunch of people who don't like minorities?
Isn't the dude from Duck Dynasty from Kentucky?
Who cares?
I
Anyway,
have no idea.
I think he is.
I think we've ripped this apart.
Yeah.
Is there any particular thing you wanted to mention, Franny?
Fuck this show. It just left me confused. I didn't understand why the characters did what they did. They don't make sense. I was upset. I felt offended.
I'm going to take a guess that Cody thinks you guys shouldn't watch this either because me and Franny both already said, but I have a feeling Cody feels the same way.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's not worth it.
I think this is our show's first F. First nope, not doing it. Not happening.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Fuck it and its stupid ass. Anyways.
All right, cool. So, Cody, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I have an EP out. It's called Temple. It's available on any of your favorite streaming platforms if you'll go listen to it.
You got YouTube Music, you got Spotify, you got Apple, you got SoundCloud?
I don't know. I honestly
if you guys
have no
want
idea.
it on SoundCloud, who knows if we can make that happen?
Yeah, let me know if you want it on SoundCloud. Also, speaking of streaming platforms, where can they find you guys at?
Oh, you can listen to us talk and scream and yell and torture our two lesbian friends on Crosscut Cinema. You can listen to that on Apple, on Spotify, or here on YouTube, where we have somewhat of a following. Not too big, but not too small. You don't know this. Franny was ready to say something, but then she just pressed her lips against the microphone, and I assume went into a fugue state.
She gave you guys a gentle little kiss.
My brain was spaghetti.
What social media should they follow us on in order to get involved in Crosscut Cinema?
Crosscut Cinema on Twitter, Crosscut Cinema Pod on Instagram.
But mainly Twitter. We like Twitter.
We
Get
also
us on that
have, for this show, Test Pilot.
Twitter.com/apilotpodcast. Instagram.com/apilotpodcast. And follow us on all social medias. Instagram.com/